What's up everyone? It is Riley at Lacrosse Unlimited back here with another stringing video. We have the brand new Maverik Logik Force that we're going to tie up somewhat of a face-off specific pocket, keeping it very simple. And let's get into it. So this one, decided to go with blue strings because it was the first color I saw. Figured it was a good idea. Start our top string, straight through the outside, loop as always. We're gonna keep this pocket super simple. I'm not trying to break any land speed records, but we're definitely gonna have an easy time stringing this pocket up. Luckily, the less stringing holes that the Logik is going with. That's one of the things Maverik's pushing to keep that bottom rail super strong. Doesn't take away too many to where customizing a decent pocket is gonna be an issue. So we're gonna go with our generic top string, going across 4 points, keeping things simple. Make sure all the slack gets pulled out of these, keeping it clean, keeping it smooth. Maverik is put forth an effort towards the face-off sticks before. Wasn't their best rendition, and this is on the complete opposite side of the spectrum. I expect a lot of guys at the Face-Off X to be happy with this product, so very excited to hear some other reviews, see how guys string up different pockets and see how it performs on the field. So getting towards the end, anchoring these knots off, keeping it nice and tight. We'll finish off with that loop on the first sidewall hole, just like we did on the start. Pull all that slack out. And get all that through. Once we're out, like making sure the mesh is really pulled out. Don't want it to get stuck to the inside. I want to make sure we're rocking it. Keeping all the string slack out too. Tie our knot off, and we officially have our top string. Nice and easy. Same thing as always, my personal preference, I just like pulling the mesh down. Make sure the knots sit all flush. We got a good looking top string there, and then we'll move on to the sidewalls after we cut and burn the strings. Keep them nice and consistent. Don't want them to fray off. And there we go. On to the next one, sidewall string. Sidewall, I'm actually gonna skip a hole and go down to the third. Start with that loop start, same as always. So for face-off sticks, I like stringing them with like a decent mid-low pocket. You want to be able to bang the stick in with the back of the mesh and have it sit flush. You don't want to have too much to the inside with knots or anything. So we're going to keep things simple with a mid-low. I'm going to skip 2 holes, do a knot, start creating a channel. Face-off guys need love too. They get a stick that's able to shoot, pass, do everything accurately, just like field guys, because as soon as they pinch and pop and do everything they need to at the X, they get to push transition and make sure we're able to really get the ball on the offensive side. So I'm gonna skip another hole. Right here, I got pull downs with just simple knots. We got the loop start, skip 2 holes, knot, skip a hole, knot, skip a hole, knot. So simple anchors. Put my other string on the other side, same exact thing. Just to keep it consistent, make sure I'm seeing how the pocket forms as I'm going down. Like I said, there's a million different ways you can string a stick. I strung a stick earlier where it was a face-off specific pocket and they requested it was strung to the outside. That's one thing you can do. Some guys don't see a problem stringing it to the inside. They think all meshes are soft enough to where it doesn't really cause an issue. Popping the pocket back out after getting the ball stuck in the back of the throat of the stick. So again, a million ways you can do it. We're gonna keep things simple for this with a generic mid-low pocket. So after stringing those tie downs, we could see that our stick is going to have a tighter section up here. Sides are pulled down nice and tight to create a channel, as now we get to develop the pocket. So we're gonna do some SIs. So these are very easy to do. We're gonna go down through the back of the mesh like a 1, up through, down just like a knot. Correction, we're gonna do knotted SIs, that way so they stay a little tighter. Create our knot just like we're doing a 1, except now we're gonna go back up through that exact mesh hole and pull it down. So from here, I just like grabbing it, make sure all the slack is pulled out. And I'm gonna do those exact knots all the way down the stick because they provide the perfect amount of sidewall holes to where there'll be a decent pocket if you just keep things consistent like this. So another 1, back up through the same mesh hole and pull it down. Pull all the slack out. You make sure the diamond actually is able to sit around that knot, like right in the middle. It's just something to keep it super consistent. So now again, right here, we're gonna change it up just a little. I'm gonna do a 1, and then I'm gonna go back through the next hole, so essentially a 2. But now I'm gonna tie that knot, and I'm only gonna go through the first hole again. So this is a 1 knotted SI. So just to add a little more depth to the pocket, wanted to make sure that mid-low point, make sure it sits there, pull all the slack out, let it sit flush. That way the pocket could sit a little more deep. Same thing, a 1, tie it off with a knot. We're going outside of the plastic, up and over that knot. Same thing, I'm gonna go up through that mesh hole again, pull the slack out, and I'm gonna do 1 more here. Same exact thing, tying it off with a knot, like a 1. Now, same thing, back up through the exact same hole of mesh, pull that slack out. Now, simply, I'm gonna pull the mesh fully out of the way. I'm gonna go from the inside of the stick outside, loop it around for our finishing knot. Loop it around, pull that string through, keep all the slack out nice and tight, and tie our knot off. So again, this is our first time stringing the Logik. I am pretty pleased with how that first side turned out. I think that'll be a decent pocket. So now I'm gonna go down and do the exact thing on the other side. So it's 2 knotted SIs, a 1 knotted SI, 2 more, and then you just finish it off. So we'll fly through this, back of the mesh, outside of the plastic, up and over the loop that was left. Pull all that slack out, and back up through the same mesh hole. Same thing, I like getting the mesh all the way around. Really able to manipulate it and see where it sits on that knot. Same thing. Same thing here, another 1. Creating that knotted SI now, that special interlock. We're gonna go back up through the hole of mesh, pull it down, make sure that slack gets out. Now we're at the point where we hit that double, so we're gonna go down through 1, down through another hole of mesh, bunch them up, outside of the plastic, tie that loop off with a knot. And same thing we did on the other side, we're only gonna go back up through that second hole of mesh. So it's a 1 and then a knotted SI. Pull that slack out, and 2 more to finish it off. So down, outside of the plastic, through, get the slack out, nice and easy. Again, there's ways you could string more complicated, more complex pockets. Just wanted this to be as simple as humanly possible. And finishing off with that last knotted SI, down through the plastic. 1 more. Tie it off, all the slack out. Back up through that mesh. Pull it down, make sure it sits nice and flush. Get the mesh out of there. Out of that last hole. Loop it around. Go through 1 more, just to make sure it stays super tight, super consistent. Pull that slack out. I'll tie this knot, and then we'll be able to cut and burn. All right, so first go. Seems like the pocket's a little too tight. Breaking it in with our bat is gonna be completely negating that issue. Cut these at that 2-inch mark. Just guessing here. Grab the torch, burn them, don't want them to get in the way. I know face-off sticks, most people keep their strings very short because they don't want them touching the ball while they're going down for a draw. Some reps might jump on that as an opportunity to say, hey, you touched the ball while you were going down. Violation, go the other way. But for this one, we like leaving them a little longer for the customer to have the choice to cut them down. Grab our bat, break in the pocket just a little bit, some elbow grease, nothing crazy. Break in those channel pull downs, rock it out a little bit, and there we go. Decent mid-low pocket. So grab our bottom string, gonna keep things simple now. I like, as usual, going through that 10 diamond row that you finished on. For this one, I'm actually gonna go through the next 10 diamond row. So keep it down here, and we're just gonna weave the bottom string all the way across. First time stringing this, it's been a breeze. Perfect amount of sidewall holes. Maverik's obvious intention of making that bottom rail super strong. Definitely a smart thing to do. Pulling this string nice and even after weaving through. 4 bottom holes here. We're gonna go down from the bottom of the stick, actually. We're gonna go bottom of the stick in through the outside holes, and then we'll flip them and go inside out through the inside holes, just to make sure that mesh stays nice and consistent with the bottom. Don't want it to get bunched up too tight. Pulling that all the way, get all the slack out. Now here, the pocket, the sidewall decides where the pocket's strung, where it sits, and then the bottom string just makes some little minor adjustments. So if I want it deeper, keep the bottom string nice and loose. If I want it a little tighter, I can take all the slack out. Anywhere in here in that middle pocket zone looks pretty good to me. Decent channel, gonna be accurate. So I'm gonna just say, right here on the bottom string, we have a little extra room in these bottom string holes. They're pretty big. So I'm gonna loop back around. And then from here, we will tie our double knots. Loop it around twice. Pull the slack out. Nice and easy. First go, I think this went pretty smooth. Shout out to Maverik for the pizza delivery with this one. If you haven't seen that video, make sure you check it out on our YouTube channel, Instagram. Now the bottom string's in, be able to just break it in a little more, make sure that string sits nice and flush, and we have it here. This one, we're just gonna go keeping things simple. Face off, guys, you do not want to put too much in the top of the stick because you want the ball, after taking that draw, want it to be able to pop out quick, never get stuck, so we're gonna go with just one simple shooting string. Simple cotton shooters, before you put them in, give them a little stretch. Make sure all the fibers are really woven together nice and tight. I'm just gonna choose a row here. Okay, there's no rhyme or reason to it. I think higher in the stick is a little smarter for face-off guys, just so it doesn't get in the way. Keeping it anywhere between as loose as humanly possible and as tight as humanly possible. It's based on preference. The tighter it is, the more ball feel you're gonna have. The looser it is, a little less resistance as the ball comes out, which is nice. Keep things a little more accurate, a little smoother. The lower the shooting strings are in the stick, obviously the looser they're gonna be. So now just make minor adjustments here. Make sure the string's sitting all flat. Don't want any bunching or anything. Loop out through the same sidewall strut that we had on the other side. Quick little loop here to finish it off. Shooting strings, I like tying in a loop just because it's able to loosen up over time, kind of work with the pocket and see how things change over time. Last one, grab our scissors, chop it off, burn the shooters. Don't want them fraying away. Get that done. And there we have it. We officially have our first go at stringing the Maverik Logik Force. Love this stick, great pocket, nice and easy to string up. As you can see, it's a mid to low pocket. Ball's able to shift up a little high when you're shooting or passing during one-handed cradling or whatever it may be. Ball's able to shift low, nice and comfortable. And then most importantly, face-off guys, the mesh sits nice and flush in there. No bunching, no nothing, anything crazy going on in here. Super efficient face-off pocket. So appreciate the guys at Maverik sending this one down to us. Have Absolutely enjoyed stringing it up. Looking forward to testing this one. If you're looking to get a new face-off head, make sure you definitely check out the brand new Maverik Logik Force. It's one that, similar to many on the market, is gonna be a strong option with decent flex points, variety of options for you here at Lacrosse Unlimited, but we think this is gonna be one of the fan favorites. So, strings up very well, plays well, I assume, after a million draws at practices or game reps, whatever it may be. This one's gonna hold up very well with all the force tech and countless R&D that's gone into this stick. Maverik's put plenty of time into this one, and we are super excited about it. After testing this out, might be getting into one of your hands. If you're interested in a giveaway for this one with the Maverik Logik Force or other products that we might have going out on here, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you like this video, comment down below what you think. Is this the worst stringing ever, best stringing ever, whatever it may be. Maybe different things you want to see on our channel. So again, this is Riley at Lacrosse Unlimited here with the Maverik Logik Force face-off head. Looking forward to seeing this one on the field, and we will see you guys soon.